2, 1.
Vast me hearties, and welcome once again to Full Stream Ahead. I'm your host, Mozz and Lilith. With me, as always, is the lovely and talented Lilith Hellfire. Lilith, how are you?
Pretty great. Thanks for the intro. Excited to be talking this season 1 finale, maybe series
Woohoo!
finale of I'm a Virgo.
I'm a Virgo, season 1, episode 7. A
A
metaphor for
metaphor for
what?
what?
Yeah,
Panties. No grown man should be saying panties.
well, that's not true. It's pretty much all we think about.
Well, keep it to yourself. Like it's like
Fair
panties and
enough.
moist are words I don't want to hear out loud, let
Yeah,
alone on a
yeah.
TV show.
Not all songs are meant for y'all. You know?
Okay, fair enough. Fair
Summer just for us to celebrate with our sons,
I understand.
Let the whole world drop in there. And it's a metaphor, right? It's a metaphor for giving it up. So, the whole world is dropping at their feet and giving it up because my boy Cootie bought the lights back,
For a moment.
yeah. And they only celebrated for 5 seconds. So, I say let them have it. I don't know.
Yeah. So let's just kind of get into it.
So a great episode, really, really good ending, satisfying ending, but it did feel cobbled together. Like they spent so much time introducing the bad guy in the corners of the room or looking when you're not noticing, ever present but never noticeable. And then all of a sudden it's like that, we're on the other side of it and we've won the day. It just seemed like it. I don't know. I wanted to
but did
earn
we
it
win?
more.
Really?
Well, I guess in the sense that I guess when she fights him at the end, right when Jones finally does her thing, there is an opportunity to make him think he was in La La Land or whatever, right? And then they turn the ropes on him and he's the one in chains and whatnot. But no, she took that opportunity to have an honest conversation.
Well,
And
as
in the
honest as she can have. I think it was oversimplified. Like I get the message.
sure,
Boots
but
Riley's a self proclaimed communist, and he's made no secret that Jones is his basically self insert character. As I
right.
was researching about this episode, and I think that might be probably what's like okay,
Yeah, I didn't agree with the premise entirely, but there was a kernel of truth at the beginning of the idea, and at
Yes.
least from her perspective, it was the truth that he needed to see. It was the truth that he wasn't seeing, and it might be an equal part of the broader truth. Along with everybody else's opinion, but this was a gigantic piece of the populace's opinion that he wasn't aware existed at all or had any merit or value. And to walk down that journey, the beginning was this, making him see the things he couldn't see. And then like he sort of has to have a introspective moment where what am I, who am I, why am I? And he's like, I don't know if this is it. This isn't where I thought I would be. This isn't where I wanted to be. I need to go rethink this. Which
Yeah.
was
Which is
amazing. And
good, which is the point. That's something that I think we've kind of lost in modern discourse. It's like either you're with me or you're against me, and you want to be in this liberal bubble or you want to be in this conservative
right.
bubble, in these echo chambers. People just don't have like the fortitude to meet in the middle and like try to understand where people are coming from. And I think that was a good message to have.
Yeah, like the greatest power. In all honesty, everybody's walking around with super strength, super size, super this, super that. But the power that won the day was just honest communication. Can you communicate effectively?
Or
Can
is her
you
power of persuasion? I don't know.
Persuasion is simply a communication. That's all it is. It's like if you can really see my point of view, do you agree with me or not? And if you do, then you were supposed to the whole time. It's not persuasion. It's just me showing you correctly what you should see, and once you see it, it's undeniable. To me, that's simply just
Although her
communicating.
girlfriend doesn't think so, because she did say when you win the argument, we both lose.
Yeah, no, but that was a different thing. I'm not saying that this was exactly how she deals with her lady friend, but she to her credit, her lady friend saw it coming. She's like, flap, flap, flap. No, put that away. Put that away.
Get out of here, you hagfish.
Which was kind of nice that was another person that actually was aware of her powers. Because when Cootie asked her to bring her powers, he's like, nobody, you could see that? Nobody's supposed to be able to see that. But it was exactly what she needed, or what we all needed. They all needed, rather.
Yes.
Um,
I am very disappointed with the parents' plan. I feel like there was something nefarious because the things don't work. They actually don't seem to have had a plan.
yes. They're just, which leads me to think they stole the hell out of that baby.
Yes.
They just seem like if Jones didn't have power, she would grow up to be Cootie's mom. That's where she's headed. That's where they're these wild-eyed hippies with big ideas and short sights.
Yep.
And they found themselves a bit of luck, found themselves a super baby, and thought they could be, the new age Martha. What's his father's name?
Martha and John Kent.
John Kent, right? And like it's almost, once you realize how bunk all their inventions are, it's just an iPhone on a head strap, and he goes, I was doing that before they came out with the iPhone. It's kind of like adorable, kind of. I don't know.
It just rang nefarious to me because they didn't have a plan. Then finally she's like, you know what? Just go to Jones. Just go to Jones.
Yeah, because they weren't nefarious. They were just bumbling idiots. That's all they were.
It's yet to be determined.
Yeah, well, okay, fair enough. I hope there's more too. But I kind of like that they weren't evil, that they were just bumbling idiots. They were just hapless, lovable. They can still be lovable, which was kind of nice.
Well, let's get to the other side of that, the cult.
Right. Whoa, yeah. Well, so it starts off with Cootie and the gang, coming, and after having committed their caper, and mom is happy and dad is happy. And I'm like, what kind of household is this? They're like, they're like, hey, you did good, kid. And I was like, what kind of parents are these? But like,
I mean, they've literally been they've been talking about starting a spark, starting something, right? And they thought that this would be the way to give power back to the people and have Cootie be that symbol for them to mold and control.
I didn't think they were that serious or ready, right? I thought they were the kind of
people definitely weren't ready.
Right. I thought they were like the kind that talked a big game, but like the act of talking that game. They didn't actually ever plan to actually enact anything. It was just that thing that was cool to think about. And now something pops off and they're about it. And I was like, whoa, man, they have more gumption than I gave them credit for. And probably dumber as parents also, but more gumption than I imagined. And there was an interesting moment where Felix says to him, oh, my car got wrecked, yada, yada. He goes, well, was it my fault? He goes, no, it was your ego. And that really bothers him. It really bothers him. And he looks
Laura said he had a point.
She didn't say he had a point. She said it was a valid point. Not saying that I agree with it, but I can understand it. And that sets him off even worse. He goes, you're on my side.
Yeah, I was so sad when the episode opened and you saw his car wrecked. Yeah, and you're like, okay, what happened here? Is everybody okay? Like,
yeah. But he's mad about his a car.
He said he was the only homie with the car. The car was his superpower.
That was my only superpower. I just took people from place to place. That's a big part of his ticket into belonging. And now he doesn't have a ticket to the show, kind of, or he feels like he doesn't. He doesn't realize how much more he brings. But the way that he says to her, it says to him, he goes, turns on, he goes, I don't have an ego. And I don't know if he was trying to put on a Kanye voice, but that was a Kanye impersonation. And that like half a second snippet, right? I don't have an ego. I really thought I heard Kanye's voice. I was like, oh my God, that's so funny. But okay, so they do the caper, the power plant, the light goes out, and within 20 minutes, the lights are back on.
Such a bummer.
Yeah, but like
there goes the way you should research your plans a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like this whole thing of people have this fantasy of being a hero, but don't realize the work and the constant vigilance it takes to be one, especially if you want to make social change, right? So they're thinking one fell swoop and one grand gesture and everything is okay. No, I hope you're ready to fight every day as much as your parents are ready to talk about it every day.
Right on the nose.
You know, but so then this is the great part. I could not. they give us a little, and I'd forgotten about the parking tickets episode. So they see like the guys drooling one of the guards, and I'm like, man, what did they do? I was like, did he finally talk Jones into it? Did Jones come in and hypnotize this poor guy and yada yada? And then you see the two other security guards and that CD sitting there, and the little tiny rappel ropes from the rat, which was adorable. But they put the episode on, and I'm like, am I ready for this? I don't know if I'm ready for this. um and like, can they deliver on this moment that's supposed to be filled with such gravity that you lose your place in reality, right? And it was, what did you think of this cartoon, of this episode of well, I thought it was like, it starts off really funny, like with the kid going boing yoing yoing, and you've seen him all over all the episodes, and it's like this, you know, almost like a Deus Ex Machina, like rescuing the joke
Yes.
from the mouths of death, right? Boing, it's funny again, right? But like, you see him as a baby, and all the parents are losing their mind, and I'm like, where are they going to go weird with this? Is this going to be one of those things where the baby makes everybody laugh so hard that they all lose their mind and yada yada? But no, they're just laughing, and he grows up and does well in school, and as soon as he leaves like high school or college, boing yoing 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 yoing,
doesn't work anymore.
Oh my god! And such
existential dread. That's what that episode's superpower is. It's like, okay, I had this one thing, now I don't.
It's not like, it's just, it's such a metaphor for like everything that you adopt, or when you're young and exploring how nature deals with you, how society deals with you, what the mechanisms are, what buttons I push to do what or get what I want, and you find a little happy groove that works, and you take so much pride in that, and we're given the opportunity to feel so much pride in that, that you sort of like forsake everything. I don't need it, I'm too cool, right? And as you get older, that adopts itself. I don't need to learn this, I'll be blah blah blah. I don't need to worry about this, I'll be blah blah blah, you know, like and then real world hits you, and people don't react to you the same way, and you could see in their eyes, those guys with their menial security jobs have walked that life, and that experience, and it's really touching and moving to them. But what gets me is, I expected the ending to be just as depressing. And all of a sudden, he finds somebody that gets him. He gets married, has kids, and dies surrounded by the people he loved. And I was like, I don't understand. Like, where is the part where do you drop me off the cliff? It's like you take me up this mountain, threaten to drop me off a cliff the whole time, and then there's like a resort up there, and you bring me a drink and say, hey, sir, you know, like, do you need somebody to fan you? And I was like, what is happening? That part was strange. I thought they were going in a different direction, and all of a sudden he has that. Did it seem like a happy ending to you? And why would that drive people mad?
I don't know. Like, I get where he was going at the halfway point, like you, but the ending does lose you. But it's something existential dread.
Yeah. But I wish there wasn't I wish there was something like worth all the pain they caused him, right? All the pain they caused him. They needed to be something like, oh, those mistakes meant something. Now it's like, those mistakes don't mean anything. Yeah, you'll be fine. Like, again, leaving you down like, oh, trust me, it's okay. Yeah, you'll be fine. Again, painting people with those pretty pictures and making them believe things that aren't true, only to be let down in the end later. I don't know. Maybe that was the point. I don't know.
Subverting expectations? David Lindelof style?
Yeah, you know. Fair enough.
Shout out to David Lindelof. I don't want to renew that beef we had.
All right. Let's see. I did like the song Dead wrote. Aside from that, and I like the drop in the panties. It's again, everything's a metaphor in this episode, so you know, we can let that be. But let's see. Oh, so like while they're talking, all of a sudden, the bunker, the hideout, the evil or not so evil, the lair.
Well, they're villains, so
right. Well, that's true.
He wanted to be a supervillain. Yeah,
and Mom was all about it too. So yeah, that makes their evil lair comes under attack, and it's a great moment that he has where he begins to realize the futility of the kind of battle he's been trying to fight.
But
Um,
also, it's that great coming of age moment when you realize your parents don't have all the
mm,
answers.
mm, mm. Yeah,
And you have to like go. This is the part where I have to leave you and go my own way and forge my own road.
yeah, yeah. Can't run to you. Your gizmos and gadgets stop working after 3 punches. So that's definitely not going to work. And I almost thought like she was like angrily sending him to Jones, but she was just doing it because she didn't know what else to do.
Yeah. Although there was
Uh,
probably a tinge of regret, like, oh man, our plan didn't come to fruition. And
yeah, yeah. I don't. I mean, how could they possibly have thought it would?
well, they're hippies, hopes and dreams and marijuana. You know.
Right, 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 right. It's like these preppers, um, buying all that desiccated food and a bunker that's supposed to stop radiation. It's I guess it's fun for them to live that fantasy. So, um,
Until the button really gets pushed.
mhm. But it's so funny. Like he walks out, he starts talking to Jones, and all of a sudden, so many things are all of a sudden coming together, right? An intersection of all these people's intention. The hero comes in with a flying drop kick. Mom runs in, rams him with the van, and all of a sudden, the cult is back.
With us,
And
great polytheme, and I'm just like, okay.
the way he was going about it, come this way, follow me. Let us help you. Let us help
Yeah,
you.
his eyes were too bugged, and the turtleneck was too high and black. I was like, yep, something's not right.
Too eager. He was too eager. It really. I don't. I think I've pointed to this movie, this scene in a movie somewhere in this episode before too. But like when Robert De Niro is telling what's his name's wife in Goodfellas, come on, the
Oh,
dresses are just down this alleyway. Come on this way. That's immediately the sense I got. I was like, oh no, I really wanted to
yes.
like these guys. I just wanted them to be like the
Nope,
parents.
it was the Steve Jobs black turtlenecks. I already knew what they were
Yeah,
going for.
yeah, yeah. But I thought they would. I was hoping they would just be hapless, lovable idiots. But no, I mean
They
they were
wanted his
idiots, but
eye.
definitely not lovable. Really, really messed up. I guess it just goes to show you there are no good cults, right? There are no good cults. But
Well,
so
they start off with good intentions. Like I said, you have to figure out where the cult is in the organizational points. You know, it's like, are we still doing just free love, or is the cult leader wanting to marry 12-year-olds? Like we have to
right,
we have
right.
to figure out where we are in that. You know,
Although I imagine they just wanted one eye. They would have left him with one
they
eye.
wanted to turn him into a cyclops,
Right,
right?
right.
Maybe
I don't
they
know.
have like some biblical thing going on. I don't know.
I would love to know more of what their thoughts were. But he does say what? Maybe this is a reference to something. He goes, according to Sam's sticky note number 32. Does that ring a bell in pop culture
Well,
and
they talked
anything?
about. Well, they talked about how their cult leader was gone and had left the sticky notes, but
Right, 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 right. Okay, fair enough. But eventually, obviously he is superhuman, and these are, um, it's a garage cult, right? It's not like they're like,
yes.
so they're not even like a real cult. They're pretending to be a cult, and I'm sure a lot of that was all duct tape. And somebody sold them on the idea that this was made out of some super high strength polymer. I'm sure some guy showed up to their doorstep singing a song and rhyming and cleaning their shoes, and they were like, "That's what's gonna get them." And clearly, he breaks out all King Kong style,
Yeah.
which was cool. Um, and and then they scurry, and they run away. I was hoping he would have caught one of them, and just at least
He
did
had
one of
other
these
things to deal with at that point,
fee
unfortunately. That's
fi
the only
fo
thing that
fum
I
style.
didn't like about that whole how everything came together too quickly.
Yes,
Like it didn't give enough time to breathe between the beats.
no, or the beating.
Yes, that too.
But it was great because like his foot comes in stage left, right,
Yeah.
stage right, and he just grabs it, and then you're like, oh my god, I hope he gives him a whooping so bad. And then there's like an interminable amount of darkness. You're like, come on, get to it. What happened? What happened? And you see him on the floor, and I'm like, yes. But I wanted to see the fight. Come
Yeah, I just
on,
wanted him to
man.
smush just one of them.
And I think like the way what part is it? Oh yeah, towards the end when Jones is walking him through her little diorama, She says, how superhero shows are responsible
Yep,
for a
propaganda at
piece
its
of
finest.
So maybe it was like him turning his nose up at all of us superhero fans who wanted that, and he's kind of calling us. Maybe he's like trying to
Oh,
make
that's
us feel
definitely
bad,
what that is.
right? Like,
But
what are
listen,
you,
I'm
some
still gonna watch my
simpleton?
SVU. Listen.
Yeah,
I talk
absolutely.
about how propaganda is bad. But I'm gonna still watch my SVU. Sorry.
I agree.
But yeah,
Uh,
superhero shows are the most nefarious of like propaganda because like a lot of people don't realize that it's propaganda. But it's like when you start thinking about like the terms of like Batman and like the
mhm.
Flash, like especially the Flash TV show where they were holding people without due process in their own little private
Oh dear
prison,
Lord.
profits. Yeah, actually, when you really start thinking about it, it's pretty dark.
Oh dear Lord. Yeah, I mean, like, who
Batman is no longer duly deputized, hasn't been in decades. Thank you, Frank Miller. So yeah, when you do think about the implications,
Yeah.
but that's why they're comics.
Yeah, no, but I don't find myself agreeing with a lot of Jones's points, but when she puts it that way, that but capitalism needs
It does.
unemployment in order
Somebody
to
has to be the
exist.
proletariat, right? That is
Somebody
literally
has to
the
be the
basis of society.
somebody has to be the cautionary tale, right? Like you've seen those things on TikTok where like the dog won't eat his food or the baby won't eat his food, which is really dark. And they have like a little toy baby and the toy baby won't eat his food, so they beat the toy baby and the baby's like, all right, I'll eat, which is like, it's got
What
to be
side
just
of TikTok are you on, Ma?
Have you not seen this?
No.
Like, the baby's not
my
eating
side
his
of
food.
TikTok is comic books, puppies, and kittens. And
Well,
a
yeah.
little bit of political discourse.
All right, so it's out there, and like or like they'll do it with a dog. A dog's not getting his food, so they'll take like a toy dog that looks like him, and they'll beat him, and the dog's like, oh, okay, I'll eat, right? But that's what unemployment, they needed to exist, because then they could say, hey, you don't want to end up like that guy, right? They need somebody to
or
fill
the
that
mom
role.
that sees a janitor and says you don't want to end up like that. But I'm like, babes, janitors have a union to make pretty damn good money, but that's
Yeah, exactly.
that's what I mean. Or like you see a homeless person, it's like, oh, you don't want to end up like that.
Yeah, I mean,
you better go to college and get into debt.
Right. That part is what was really interesting to me. So they are.
That's the kernel
their
of truth.
structure is incentivized to keep people unemployed, just so they have a threat hanging over
so
people's
that they
head.
can keep the minimum wage $7.25 for 14
years.
Right.
If there was full employment, people could demand what they want, demand something fair. And that was such an interesting and a great point that I found myself agreeing with Jones on, and I don't agree with her on much very often. Yeah. But I thought that was a really, really great point that they made during that little monologue. But before we get there, of course, Cootie falls into the age-old trap of letting the bad guy talk. The first thing everybody should have, just come with duct tape and just tape his mouth shut so you can think in peace and get the job done. The minute you let the bad guy talk, man, again,
I wanted it to be true, though. I really did.
I know, me too. But yeah, I mean, we'll get there now. But like, again, that's the part I felt like it's coming together too easily. But and then you see the drone behind Cootie, and you're like, oh no, he's gonna get him. And of course, then he gets like, it was such a weird little marrying of like symbols from different generations. Like a drone is lynching a guy, right? Like a lynching by drone. Like, so
don't give them ideas, Boots Riley.
For real. And then they chain the poor guy, and then like, oh man, I did not need to see him like. And it's funny. It's like we wanted to see Hero get his butt whooped, and we see him after he's had his butt whooped, but then we have to sit there and watch Cootie get smashed in the face. And then those looked really intense. His face gets disfigured. His jaw is clearly broken. And I was like, man, come on, what are you doing? We came here to see. You give me the opposite of what I came here to see.
And I thought that was gonna be that. I thought he was gonna go to prison. Like, because listen, if you know anything about Boots Riley's work, it's dark, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
The endings are never quite what you think they're gonna be. So I was like, oh, he's really trying to be anti superhero revolutionary kind of process of a superhero show.
Yeah. Yeah. But like he talks Jones into doing her little thing, and it was really
I
interesting
love how she's
watching.
like, give me 3 minutes. And then she's like, you're the problem. He's like, 3 minutes are up. And she's like, no. Walk with me. Walk with me.
Yeah. Yeah. And she played him so perfectly. He's like, "Was you want to be fair, right? You want to be the good guy, right?" He's like, "Yeah, you know what? You're right." What a great way to start building her case. What a great place to
Just
start the
twist that
argument from.
ego.
Yeah.
Thinking it was his idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not just that, but like not letting him like cuz she starts off, "You're the problem." She has to throw that out there, but then she immediately has to like coddle him a little bit to get him to actually open up and listen.
She's like,
And
not
not
intentionally,
right.
but here's what you've been doing.
Right, right. No, I know you're a good guy. No, yeah, of course, you're a good guy. And okay, well, let's start with that. You're one of the good guys, right? Okay, now that you can see I adopt that view of you, you feel safe in allowing yourself to think about things without having to feel like everything she says, I've got to defend myself on. So I
Yep.
can't really think about it every time she says something. No, 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 but, right? To stop that mechanism from applying to the situation, she has to start that way, and it's so beautifully done. And then she walks him little by little and then lets him have those moments. He's like, but you didn't think about this. And she's like, oh, but I did.
He's just a lobster in hot water being slowly boiled at that point. I love it.
Yeah, or like finally being able to see the mirror, right? It's like he's
Because
been
he
walking.
clearly feels like something is wrong. That's why why they showed us that episode where he's kind of in that slump. He doesn't want to get out of bed. He feels like he has the weight of the world on his shoulders because maybe deep down he doesn't think that what he's doing is fixing the system, but he doesn't know why it's not fixing.
Right. He's been looking. What he's really been looking for is to find the truth, because nothing rings truthful about his existence. Everything seems like a put on, much like his little bedroom set with his mom, who's I'm sure hired to be there, right? He's been searching for something that feels real, so much so that he just wants to. I know death is real, right? And so he's hiring assassins to come get him. At least I can know that is real, but it must be so infuriating to not know what you believe, to not know who you really even are. So you've adopted this personality that works, but you don't really know who you are, and you don't know what you stand for, and you don't know why you stand for this thing. And these ideas are pulling at him. He doesn't know what to do with it. And he does his best with all these, things assailing his mind. He does the best he can, and he survives day after day, just fulfilling the role that he thinks he needs to fulfill. And then finally, in this moment, somebody shows him something, and he's like, whoa, oh man, I can see myself. All the makeup's coming off, like all the false, things I've proclaimed to the world about myself.
The emperor is naked.
Yeah. And it's just so powerful to watch that slowly wash over him. And then when he comes out of it, and like you gotta love Goggins, man. That made like I don't know if he has a single tear or not, but there's so much depth and so much sinking in his face in that moment. It's so good. But like Jones even won me over with her argument to a degree.
To a degree, yeah.
To a degree, but yeah, I really, really jive with what she was saying, and he has no choice.
I love that for Boots Riley. I feel like he's made a lot of great points within this season that get people to thinking, like, that maybe something they weren't thinking about. Like, that's interesting. And, and this is free, day and age in 2023. You can Google it. You can go fall down your rabbit holes on Reddit or what have you. And I mean, that's kind of what Boots Riley's work is all about. It's just kind of being thought-provoking and maybe making you think different and think about why you thought that previous way. And that's what good art should do. It should provoke a thought, right?
Exactly.
And that's definitely what this series has done. And I'm so glad that we were at the end, because now I got to dive in and watch all like the full season reviews and like read all the interviews that he had with the cast, and it just like really comes together and you get to see his vision. I don't know if you know this or if you did watch them. I didn't watch them, but I'm gonna watch them now. I'm gonna actually rewatch the whole thing all together. But they have featurettes on
Right,
Amazon.
right, right. I noticed that at the end. I didn't want to touch them yet.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go back and watch them and like really see as I'm rewatching them and just kind of put it together. But like, it's not the ending that I wanted. It's
No,
not the ending that I needed, but it's
I
it's
felt
Boots
like,
Riley.
yeah, and the only reason it isn't satisfying to me is because I feel like he had more to say, and
But
that
the rash, like nobody addressed the rash. That's what we end on. It's
right.
reptilian skin, and I'm scared.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not just. It's like. It,
Like his parents saw the rash. Everybody saw it. Nobody said anything.
And part of me thought that it was always part of their plan. Maybe that's the part that's nefarious, that that giants are simply a vessel to deliver some broader evil to the world.
Ooh.
And like, because when you see his stomach rips open, and it literally felt like the being of Cootie was just a cocoon meant to gestate this evil, and it's in its third trimester and it's getting ready to pop out, right?
That water broke.
Yeah. So we'll see where this goes, but my God, what a place to leave it. And like, oh man, I really still want to know how Hero is feeling. What is his mind doing right now? Did it actually make a change? Is he actually finding a way to vulnerability and a way to rediscover himself? Or is he right now busy reconstructing the old lies, going, no, she was right. This is why. Yeah, that feels good, right? Redonning all the old excuses. And
I feel like he really truly felt broken and that she had a point that his whole life up to this point was a lie. But I would love to know where he goes from there. Like, I feel like that is what Boots Riley wants for that character to rethink. Is he actually going to become a billionaire philanthropist, a la like what Batman should actually do, right? Because he actually is rich in real life, comes from money, made his money off the comic books as well. Has a whole industry behind him. There's a whole lot of good he could possibly do.
Like, people's minds don't work that way. Like, they have like a spiritual revelation, and then immediately, as soon as they have a little distance from that moment, their ego and their brain starts putting the pieces back together in a different way, and they're like, "Oh, yeah,
well,
what a
silly
thing!"
Give them some ayahuasca.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. But like, people have to take several experiences with it to really be able to beat this addiction to a way of thinking. Mm-hmm. And your ego is very crafty, powerful, very powerful in getting you back.
The id wants what the id wants.
Oh man, and that's real dangerous. So, but like, such interesting questions have been thrown into the air now, and now I have to like stand here on one leg juggling these things until the next season comes out.
Ooh, we haven't. Well, the strike isn't quite over, so I don't know that anybody will be making like announcements.
You know what people should start doing, and this would be kind of cool. It would create like a whole new medium, a whole new genre. But you remember that movie with Jack Black and Mos Def where they worked in a video store, and they start making their own versions of movies and hosting like little get-togethers, and people in the neighborhood come and watch their version of Lethal Weapon, where they're acting and other people in the neighborhood.
Is it Be Kind Rewind?
Yes. What? I love that movie. That movie is so good. It's goofy and weird. I really love that movie. But imagine if like the writers are gone and all the things that we want our favorite characters to end up doing, if people started making like little goofy, and everybody's got a camera in their hands, and most people have a really decent one.
If you have a Samsung.
I'm not gonna go there. Not gonna go there.
I kid, but not really.
But it'd be nice to see if like a lot of headcanon started making its way out to the masses.
Oh, let's get those fanfics greenlit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not greenlit by the overstructure.
Yeah,
no. But just people themselves. You don't have to have a costume. You don't have to have anything. Just if you have a good idea for a scene, what if Thanos and Doctor Strange had this conversation and two people just film it? I would watch that. I would be down for that.
Yeah, as a person who watches and supports a lot of fan films, yeah, I'd be down for it.
I think that'd be yeah, right, exactly. What's that guy that makes all these Batman's films? The fan film. I forget what his name is. Bat in the Sun or something like that. Um, he's made some amazing fanfic films, and then there was that guy that made that amazing Power Rangers fanfic.
Mm-hmm.
I think the doors are wide open for something to come and steal people's hearts right now because ain't nobody else trying.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's where we end up, or the strike ends soon.
Yeah,
But
I just want the strike to end, and well, you know, because you're never gonna get everything you want, but just like
yeah,
enough. We definitely need some regulation. I definitely think what they
hmm
were asking for was like actually just human decency,
yeah,
common sense.
or just to stay true to the spirit of the original agreement. The changing landscape should change for everybody. It shouldn't trample somebody underfoot who is still an integral part of your business. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's just cold hard greed.
We had some good news like back at the end of September that they felt like they were coming to a close, but I still feel like the studios really did mean it, that they want to drag it out past the holidays and make them starve.
My God, how do more people not riot after that comment?
And like I said, like now it's kind of spreading to the video game industry, which I really feel like needs a revolution for sure.
Most definitely, most definitely. But hopefully, this means good things for everybody. And
Yeah.
hopefully, everybody appreciates the sacrifices these people are making to fight for, as a metaphor for all of our plights.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which is a perfect thing that this show got us thinking about. So, amazing show, and I think it succeeded in what it aimed to do, to make you
Yes.
think and see things in a different way. And it was a great, enjoyable ride. The acting performances were just so lovable and heartfelt. The parents were great. Cootie was great. It was so easy to
His sidekicks were great.
see yourself in him. His sidekicks were great. And my God, how did Scat not have a part in this whole shindig? How
Well,
did
his
Scat?
ghost shows up in this episode.
Does he wear?
When Jones is talking to her girlfriend.
Oh, interesting.
And I feel like we saw him at the end too, at the very end, right? Didn't we?
I'm gonna have to go look back because I did not catch it.
Yeah, at the end, like right before we see his Cootie's little pustules burst and turn into reptilian skin.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
feel like he was there. I remember.
Yeah, I
that.
remember that's a good place to put him because the other hand is misdirecting you pretty bad. You're like, what the hell is that green thing? And you're not seeing anything. Yeah, that's kind of cool though. So clever, this show. So many of the little decisions were so clever in this show.
Did you have a favorite episode?
Ooh. Jeez, it's hard to say. The first thing that pops into my mind is the hero heavy episode with the little assassin that comes to fight him and that whole thing. Yeah, I guess if I'd have to pick one now, I'd have to say that one.
Okay.
Maybe.
I think mine is my favorite one is the second episode. Just seeing Cootie actually explore life and like.
Oh no! You know what? Yeah, no. I think I changed my answer to that one too. When he first,
but Walton Goggins episode is my second favorite.
Yeah, for sure. That's the one that sticks out the most. But you're right. I really did find myself more filled with wonder and awe and curiosity when he first escaped, and when he first goes to Bang Bang Burger and meets Flora for the first time.
Yeah.
And there's all that fast. Like, what is this? What is going on? Yeah, absolutely, for sure. One disappointment was that the cult wasn't nice. Like, there's no
I
nice
wanted
cult.
more from the cult.
Yeah.
You don't just introduce a cult and then.
But I guess that's just how life works, right? Like you have all these grand plans and then everything comes in a lickety split, and before you know it, you're on the other side of some situation. You're going, what the hell just happened? I'm spun around.
Maybe they're meant to be in season 2.
I
feel like he definitely planned for more than one season, and he was hoping for more than one season. And Amazon is kind of into the superhero business, but not the same way that Marvel is. They're very much in The Boys and Invincible, and this fits perfectly in that vein. Yeah. And now, what is it? Gen V now too. They just dropped. They're very much into that. They dropped the first 3 episodes. Yeah.
Good things about Gen V. Have you seen that yet?
No, I didn't know if you maybe that's what you wanted to do next, or if you wanted
Ooh,
to
I
do
might. But,
yeah. So just
isn't
let
The
me know.
Boys coming out soon too?
I think they only have like let me see how many episodes Gen V is. I feel like they only have like 6 or 9, and this is
Oh,
meant to
okay.
be like a in
We
between the
can knock that
bridge.
out. I wouldn't mind doing Ahsoka either, or Loki. That's dropping tomorrow.
Ooh, I wouldn't mind doing Loki.
Okay, yeah, let's do Loki. I think it because we did the first one and I'm super excited about it. I really want to see more Morbius. Man,
Do
love me
you?
some Morbius. Hell, yeah, I love Morbius. Morbius was the man.
Okay.
Yeah, he was my
Just in
favorite
true
character.
Charlie Esser fashion.
Right, right. I know. I love.
love that.
Yeah. What's his name? Who's the actor? Owen Wilson, right?
Yeah.
I'm a huge Owen Wilson fan. I'm a huge Owen Wilson fan. I'll watch anything that guy does. And Morbius was maybe one of my favorite roles by him. It's so Owen Wilson, it's not even funny. Uh, it's over the top Owen Wilson ness. There's a lot of Owen Wilson ness in
Well,
Morbius's
I
character.
do love both the Wilson brothers, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm super excited about it. Yeah, I
yeah.
wouldn't mind
Let's
doing Loki. Let's
settle
do Loki.
Loki.
Hell
Loki
yes.
season 2. Get ready, boys.
Yes, indeed. All right, you filthy land lovers. Thank you for joining us once again on the bounding mains of the streaming shows you love to see. Join us next week as we sail once again full stream ahead. Yarg. Oh, we got to do our yeah. So if you'd
But
like
before
to,
you go,
right. But before you go, before you go, if you guys want to reach out to me and say hello or talk theories or conspiracies, you can email me at mozzmanzor@gmail.com or find me on Facebook under Mozz Manzor. That's MOZZMANZOOR.
and if you want to send in some feedback to talk about Loki, feel free to find us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at FSA Podcast. You can email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com. You can give us a call at 614-382-2727. That's 614-38-CAPES. And of course, check out our podcast, tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. As for me, you can find me on Facebook, find me under Lilith Hellfire, or if you're on Instagram or Threads, your favorite internet granny. That's GRANNIE.
Mm-mm. All right, now it's time to see us next week, where clearly we'll be covering the first episode of Loki dropping tomorrow. So see y'all next week. And now you get the final yarg.